So, do either of you know a lot about her?
No.
I know a little. I know that she was involved in the Murdoch case, and that now she's in some trouble. But I don't know a whole lot of specifics. I need you to help me out with that.
Yeah, so she's an investigative journalist with a podcast. Her name's Mandy Matney. She was subpoenaed as a non-party witness in the litigation connected to Mallory Beach and Parker's convenience store. And I'll get into that lawsuit because it's important, but I want to just give the primer really quick. Matney fought the subpoena for months, initially arguing reporters' privilege, undue burden, relevance, and alleged harassment. The court rejected those arguments and ordered her deposition to proceed. Days before the deposition, she said she did not feel safe attending the location selected by Parker's attorneys. Her lawyers and opposing counsel could not agree on an alternative venue. Instead, she went to her own attorney's office in Bluffton with private security and her husband. She appeared briefly by Zoom, and Parker's attorneys remained at the officially noticed location. She refused to go there. So the judge ultimately ruled that she willfully violated a valid subpoena and court orders, rejecting her safety. He said that all her safety concerns were not credible. He's held her in civil contempt. He ordered her to pay $171,000 in attorney's fees and litigation costs, $5,000 additional monetary sanction, for a total of $176,500. So the Parker defendants initially wanted more than $310,000. The judge substantially reduced the requested fees, but it's still huge.
It's a lot of
money.
money.
I've never heard of like that much of a sanction.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of the attorneys that have been quoted for these things in South Carolina said they can't ever recall anything that's comparable to this.
Yeah.
So, a little bit about Mandy Matney herself. She was an investigative journalist. She became nationally known for her reporting on, at first, the 2019 boat crash that killed Mallory Beach. The Murdaugh family, Alex Murdaugh's financial crimes, she actually exposed a lot of those and got the ball rolling on those. Questions surrounding deaths connected to the broader Murdaugh story, institutional power and corruption in South Carolina. And her reporting became the basis of the Murdaugh Murders podcast, and later with the Hulu series that they did in 2025, which is amazing. Have either of you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
You need to see it. It has some of the best casting I've ever seen. Like, it's so convincing, these characters. Anyway, so everybody's calling her a podcaster, which is interesting because she started her career as an investigative journalist and then started her own podcast and started doing this. I personally feel like that is a narrative painted by the media to be condescending to her. Like, she's not a real journalist.
Like, you're saying she has a journalism degree and they're all referring to her as a podcaster.
Yeah, she worked for mainstream media as a journalist. Okay. Now it's everything you read says podcaster Mandy Matney.
Right.
So that's, I don't know how I feel about that. But before we move into all that stuff, I want to talk about the underlying case because it's not really like Alec Murdaugh. It has nothing to do with him. So a lot of people talking about this are saying she didn't want to face Dick Harpootlian in court, who I call Poots. But they're saying she didn't want to face him, and he doesn't have anything to do with this. This is a convenience store that was trying to depose her. So the plaintiffs for the Beach family in the lawsuit are Renee Beach, that's Mallory's mother, Philip Beach, her father, Robin Beach, her stepmother, Savannah Tutin, her sister, and Seth Tutin, maybe it's Tutton, her brother-in-law. And the defendants are Gregory Parker, Parker's corporate entities, I'm not sure what that means, Blake Greco, and attorney Jason DeCruz. So that's the defendants that these plaintiffs are suing. Parker's Kitchen was involved in the wrongful death litigation because alcohol consumed before the fatal boat crash was purchased by an underage Paul Murdoch at that convenience store. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So later litigation involved allegations of a covert campaign involving surveillance, private investigators, social media activity, and confidential mediation material. She is not a plaintiff or a defendant in this. She became involved because Parker's attorneys contend that she possessed information relevant to the litigation and subpoenaed her as a witness. There are laws in South Carolina, not every state, but there are in South Carolina that protect journalists, namely sources and things like that. Such things don't exist in like Massachusetts and some other states, but it exists there. It's limited, but it's there. So some of the questions I was reading online was, why is a reporter being dragged into someone else's lawsuits? And her argument was her information is protected by South Carolina's reporter's privilege. She does not have any relevant information. The deposition imposed an undue burden, and the subpoena was part of an effort to harass or humiliate her. The judge rejected all of those arguments. I'm going to have a visual just so we have it. I'm not going to read it, but it's going to be the contempt order. So let me bring that up. Just so we have something on the screen outside of our wonderful faces.
Yeah.
You guys can see that?
Yep, it's up.
Yeah, so I got
I see it now.
Something called FTS News.
Okay.
Anyway.
Contempt.
I mean, I'm on my phone, so I'm not going to do a lot of this, but that's what I would have to do in order to read it, just so you know.
Yeah, you absolutely don't have to do that.
Are you sure? It's not a good look? Okay.
So in the ruling against her, the court ruled that reporter's privilege does not blanket immunity from being deposed. Her testimony could be relevant, and she had not established sufficient undue burden. Her motion to quash was denied in February of 2026. Her motion for reconsideration was denied March 16th, and then the judge ordered her to be deposed within 14 days.
Ooh.
Right. So I want to talk a little bit really quick about reporter's privilege.
Okay.
What should that mean?
That's difficult, right? Like, I don't think reporters should have to give any information that would identify one of their sources. I think that's important. I don't know that they shouldn't have to testify to information that they have, though, that would be relevant in a case like that. That's, I think, where the crux of the argument here is.
Okay. What do you think, Brandon?
Would the information have given away one of the sources? Because they're absolutely not supposed to do that, or not expected to have to do that, because they need their sources to be able to trust them, you know.
Well, I'll get into some of her statements and stuff like that, but to me, it seems like she didn't have any information at all. She didn't have any information to protect.
Right.
But if she did, who would it protect in this instance? Probably the Beach family, right?
Yeah,
right.
Because what they're alleging is information was leaked. And she may have been privy to that. So they might have wanted to suss her out to see if she was the leak. I know that the Parker convenience store was going after people pretty hard in this, which it happens. I don't blame them. But one of the families they were going hard against was the Murdoch family, because they're essentially on the hook for selling his underage son alcohol.
Yeah.
who probably had a fake ID. I mean,
Yeah,
a good one.
Right.
They had enough money to get that.
Yeah.
So this is how it got to contempt. On October 17, 2025, they served her with a subpoena for a deposition at the Bluffton Law Office. November 2025, she challenges the subpoena. She argues reporter's privilege, undue burden, lack of evidence, harassment, humiliation. And according to Judge Kelly, she does not raise safety concerns about the deposition location. But what does harassment mean?
Yeah. That's
I mean,
what I was referring to.
Wouldn't that mean you just automatically assume that there's a safety concern? Is that really something they'd have to list there?
Well, no, not necessarily, right? Like, I think it could be implying that the only reason they're asking her to be deposed is to humiliate her in some way.
Yeah, like they're leaning on her when it's not necessary to do so. You know, they're harassing her. The subpoena is the harassment, not the people who might, be able to in a position to threaten her or intimidate her.
So in February 5th, the court denies the motion to quash protective order. February 17th, she seeks reconsideration, and according to the eventual contempt order, she does not object to the deposition location. She doesn't state at that time that she feels it's unsafe. In March, there are repeated communications about scheduling. The same Bluffton location continues appearing on the notices. Judge Kelly repeatedly emphasizes this because it became central to his reasoning. The location has been identified for months, yet the safety objection came in very, very late.
Yeah.
And that's all going to be in this order that we're not going to read because I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to read court documents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like her story is not consistent in some way. Maybe that's why the court is refusing to grant her an exception for this deposition.
Okay, but if you think about it this way, if you have a good reason, if you have many reasons for not doing something, but you have one very, very sound legal reason, I don't understand why you wouldn't put that up and then when it's rejected, say, but I have all these other reasons too.
Yeah, lead with that.
Right.
Right.
So I don't really have that much of a problem with it.
With her being held in contempt?
No, with her giving multiple reasons at different times.
Right.
I mean, it's also kind of like an ongoing situation,
Or if she's desperate to protect a source.
Right.
Yeah.
That might make sense why too. So March 16th, the court orders the deposition. He denied reconsideration, said she had to be deposed within 14 days, and the deposition is noticed for March 27th at the same Bluffton office. And then March 20th, safety becomes the central issue. So she says she does not feel safe there. She agrees to be deposed at her attorney, Meredith Bannon Bluffton's office. The timing becomes one of Judge Kelly's strongest reasons for rejecting her argument. And his view is if the location was genuinely dangerous, why was that not raised during the preceding 5 months? Her side of the larger issue, it wasn't, I don't like this law office. It was, I have got sustained harassment, stalking, and threatening online behavior associated with people intensely interested in this case.
I'm sure that's true. I mean, Jesus, it's
Well,
the Murdoch case, right? Yeah.
It is true. And I found out who this person is. It's another podcaster, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a rival.
A rival podcaster?
Yeah, but here it is.
That's almost cartoonish.
I found this person's Instagram, and I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to share with you the new.
I might lean in for this one, guys. I need to see this influencer. this intimidating influencer.
So he is
Oh.
a
Oh
big
my God.
Alec Murdoch didn't do it person,
Yeah.
Jesus.
right?
His hair. Ugh.
But he
Not
has
that I'm
videos-
jealous of hair generally.
he'll have videos where he just like sings the song Mandy.
Mm.
So I mean, he's definitely clowning her a little bit. But he posts multiple times a day.
Yeah.
So we'd have to scroll forever to find the instances where he was harassing her. He's really into the Becky Hill thing too.
I bet.
Yeah.
He's a big fan.
I mean, if it's just saturated with that enough, I mean, that's definitely harassment, right?
Not necessarily. We have freedom of speech.
Sure. Yeah.
Look, he's got a picture of her right here.
Yeah.
He posted a picture of her that's not super flattering.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
And this has been going on with him for years, but a couple of times he said he would be at whatever courthouse, but he kind of has the right to do that if he's also an independent journalist with a podcast.
I don't think he has the right to do it if his intention is to menace somebody, though. Or he shouldn't have the right to do it. Maybe he does. Maybe legally he does have the right to show up anywhere he wants and menace her, but I don't think he should be able to.
But the menacing would I mean, it's like he's not going to hurt her. He's too high profile, but he would just like continue to slander her hardcore and like, take videos there and post them or I see. He's look, trolling her. Yeah.
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 He's trolling her big time, but that's not a crime.
Right.
But he also doesn't think that Alec Murdoch is guilty. He thinks he's innocent.
Yeah.
He's in a very small club.
Yeah, he's in a club of one.
Right.
I don't know if I don't think Alex Murdaugh is innocent, but he might get off this trial.
So during her contempt proceedings, her side presented extensive social media material that supported her fear. That was hundreds of social media posts, like the ones I was showing you with her face like that.
Yeah.
TikTok videos, a timeline of online activity, evidence involving the podcaster that I just showed you. His name is James Seidel. A police report identifying him, and then material that she characterized as menacing stalking and harassment. Now, he has a criminal history, but it's not violent. And I also want to say that he's never been charged as a stalker, and she's never pressed charges against him or tried to take out a restraining order, as far as I know. She just identifies him as an alleged stalker.
It does seem like when you put all of that together, it does kind of make it seem like she's just coming up with an excuse not to have to do deposition for some reason.
Yeah, but it's like take out the fact that he's a rival podcaster and just say how many pictures of her are on his Instagram page. That's stalkerly. I mean, it looked like there were quite a few.
I'd be scared for sure, especially like if I was like in this podcast and they were freeze framing it, where I was like, to make me look ugly or dumb or unflattering.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They take the time out of your day to do that, and then to do it like, I don't know, once a week, twice a month, whatever it is he's doing.
So in 2023, this guy we're talking about, James Paul, it's either Seidel or Seidel. I'm not sure if it's the German way or what.
Right.
He pled guilty to making a false statement concerning roughly $200,000 in federal COVID relief funds.
Ooh,
reporting described allegations that money intended for business relief was used for cryptocurrency and to buy a house.
Nice.
but that's not violent or stalkerish or whatever. So,
No, it's not. That doesn't relate to, his character in that regard.
I don't know that can be held against him, but the judge expressly rejected that characterization of him based on the evidence.
Yeah.
So, Mandy's interpretation is monitoring, taunting, targeting, posting, obsessive commentary, repeated videos, online menacing behavior. And the judge interpreted it as criticism, mockery, taunting, and negative commentary.
Yeah.
So it's slightly different.
With that. I mean, it is hard, right? Like, there has to be some sort of credible evidence that he's going to break the law, which he
right. And there was no credible evidence of a physical threat, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's also kind of like you've made yourself a public figure, so you have to. I guess the judge is saying you have to expect some public taunting, or at least that it's fair game. I don't know.
And oftentimes, especially in like the YouTube world, when somebody has like horrible opinions or bad behavior that everyone sees, they're turned into something called a lolcow. Do you know about this?
No. Oh, lolcow, I do, because you told me, but please tell us all.
They're endlessly mocked. I mean, there's no end. And there will be like hundreds sometimes of different YouTubers dedicating streams to making fun of these people.
Right.
It's like a public shaming. So it happens all the time, and it's not against the law. And what he did is mild in comparison to a lot of the things I've seen.
It is mild.
So what I want to know from you guys, like, what counts as a threat in the age of the internet?
Oh, that's really hard, because people get away with so much. It's like, what should count as a threat on the internet versus freedom of speech, right? Like, it's a really hard line to draw.
It's a very gray area, right? So you would have to say that you're going to hurt someone physically.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I would have to say to Chris, I'm going to break your legs.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Okay, good. Yeah, I like my legs.
Yeah, I like them too. So I won't break them, I promise. But you have to say something very direct like that, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's like self-harm or, threats of harm, those things, I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever had anything taken down by the non-personal aspect of Meta or something like that, like where it's just a bot just sort of picking and choosing what things get taken down, and then you go, actually this was just a joke and I think that's obvious, and then it gets reinstated. I've actually had that happen with like just stupid stuff before, and it's like, without going into specifics, it seems to me like, yes, it's looking for either copyright infringement or threats of harm, either to yourself or someone else.
Yeah.
So online harassment operates like constant monitoring, doxing, just doxing people, giving out their home address, showing awareness of somebody's movements, posting photos of locations, repeatedly tagging a target in posts on X over and over again. I see that a lot. Mobilizing audiences, and I see that a lot with the lolcow stuff. Like, there will be 500 people in a stream all making fun of somebody. Sexualized.
Are you saying that counts? That counts as harassment?
Well, I'm saying that's online harassment, but it's not against the law.
Not necessarily legally recognized as such. Right. Yeah, that's terrible.
Obsessive content production, encouraging others to confront someone at a place, appearing at events, creating an atmosphere of surveillance. And none of those you can prosecute, not one.
And this guy did at least some of these things.
Sure, I don't think he did he?
I don't know.
I would say constant monitoring, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not following her, but watching every single thing that she posts and commenting on it and making some sort of post to make fun of her.
Yeah.
Posting photos of her for sure. Mobilizing audiences.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I did see a post with sexualized mockery, kind of, that I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can find it, because this really bothered me when I saw it.
It seems like they're more interested in protecting teenagers against this kind of thing, which is great, but it's not that, it's not that adults can't suffer from it, especially in situations like this where they have enemies or people who want to silence them.
This was a post that Mandy Matney put on her Instagram account, and she has a lot, and we can look through it a little bit later. But she said, Debbie Barbier, or maybe it's Barbier, I don't know, the former Trump attorney representing Greg Parker, screamed at me in court for posting photos of myself in a bathing suit.
Ooh.
While also having a stalker. We need to talk about that. That is a pretty modest bathing suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, slut shaming, are you serious?
Yeah, that's not
like, really? Her? I'm sorry, Mandy Matney is not slutty.
It sounds like these people just have really powerful friends that are just, all willing to sort of gang up on her.
Yeah.
For going against them.
So anyway, alternative locations. The Parker's attorney did offer alternatives. Option one was Mater Nexon Law Office in Columbia, because that building has security. Option two was a hotel conference room in Bluffton. Matney rejected both of those, and she insisted on her own attorney's office. And she also said her husband had to be present. So part of a deposition in civil is a lot different than in criminal. The whole art in like civil trials, which isn't interesting, but you can get a lot more out. You want the person to feel off guard so that they make a mistake. So her saying that she's uncomfortable with a location would make any good attorney say, no, like, we're doing it here. And here's some alternatives, but not at your attorney's office, because they don't want her to feel safe.
Yeah.
It's part of a legal strategy.
Okay.
So I don't know that that's necessarily to taunt her.
Yeah.
So her side of this discussion is who's going to control the environment? Who knows what our movements will be there? She just basically refused every option that they gave to her, but she didn't really give any options herself except my own attorney's office.
Right.
So far, how do you guys feel about her refusing to go to her deposition?
I'm torn. I don't think she's providing enough of an excuse, like a viable legal excuse for her not to have to do deposition.
Okay. What do you think, Brandon?
Well, now that you've mentioned the aspect of location being a matter of something that a good attorney would deny you, and now I see it's like a way to wrangle the best situation for yourself. That makes it interesting, but I do feel like she's up against quite a bit of opposition. So
yeah, and even if what she's saying is true, then they didn't need to depose her in the first place. They're just doing it to harass her.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a really expensive harassment tactic, and this is why I wanted both of you here. You both have lived there. Brandon, you live around there currently. Chris, you grew up
South Carolina.
There, Low Country, South Carolina.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you think that it's possible, especially given all of her reporting, that this old boys club culture would want to punish her?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
do you think that they're capable of having her attend a deposition just to harass her? Like just because it would make her uncomfortable.
I
could
see why she would think that.
Okay.
Like I could see her saying, there's no reason I should have to do this. They're just trying to mess with me. That would be a plausible conclusion to me. Whether or not they're actually doing that, I have no idea. I wasn't there, right? So,
Brandon, can you give me your best attempt at explaining the old boys club culture there compared to other places?
Well, as you know, I work at a restaurant that is like the county courthouse was built around it. The restaurant sits here. The county courthouse is around it. It was built around it. And there's the federal courthouse across the street. There's law offices all up and down the street. I see these guys all the time. I always thought it was funny. They came in. It is mostly men. There are female attorneys. One in particular I can think of who's very tough. But it is mostly men, and it is mostly men who sound like Foghorn Leghorn. And I was in Brevard, North Carolina 2 years ago, and a woman told me that she was practicing law in Charleston, South Carolina, before she left. And I said, oh, well, that must be a great place to do it. And she said, or what must have been a great place to do it. And she said, no, it's a total boys club, you know? I mean, she's just, you know, kind of given me this insight as to, and I've already seen it. I can already see it all the time. I mean, it really is. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it is mostly men doing it, you know, and it's old school too. I mean, you know, the ones who seem to have been at it the longest. I mean, I kid you not when I say they just sound like Foghorn Leghorn. You know what I mean? Like it's this old Southern thing, you know?
How do you think that they would feel about a young woman who was very successful and broke this case wide open with her reporting the financial crimes with Alec Murdaugh almost single-handedly, and then went on to start her own media company? She was an executive producer of that Hulu series, probably made her just probably doing really, really well financially now.
Right.
How do you think that these types of men would react to a woman like that?
Well, I mean, didn't you say they were calling her a podcaster? I mean, that's about it. They tried to belittle her, you know?
That's all of the media. That's national media.
Yeah, but that's it starts with, you know, how are we going to label this and how are we going to spin this? And you know what I mean? So maybe they played a significant hand in how that went down, you know, because they have connections.
What about you, Chris? How would you describe the old boys club culture there specifically, since you've lived so many places, in a way so people like me who've never lived there can kind of understand what the difference is?
So when you're in a big metropolitan area like New York or Atlanta or Chicago or Boston even, you get a lot of churn in terms of like people who have positions of authority. It's not like somebody could come into town from another place and get a seat on, you know, city council or something like that. The general vibe in Charleston specifically is very much like people grew up there and their families grew up there and they all knew each other at some point in time and they're all shaking hands and making deals together for generations, right? And it's there is a lot of, it's hard to break into that without knowing those people or conforming to like a style that those people conform to. And it's not just like the norm, it is how society in that part of the world functions. So all the way from like the police officers on the beat to the judges in the courthouses to the lawyers that are trying the cases, they're all people that knew each other's moms and dads and stuff like that, or at least kind of admire that type of a lifestyle. So yeah, there's a lot of.
It sounds like there's a lot of nepotism.
There's a lot of nepotism.
Oh, sure.
It's not just
old money, they call it.
It's not even just nepotism as much as it is just like class nepotism, right? It's like you recognize that somebody has a similar socioeconomic background to you, so they pass the sniff test, or maybe they have similar political ideas as you do. So you will go out of your way to help them, but you won't go out of your way to help somebody who doesn't conform to this ideal that you have. But that stretches beyond just like a few bad apples here and there. It's like the fundamental mechanisms of local government are run by these families. Like the Ravenel family is one. There's that famous
that bridge is named after them, right?
The Ravenel bridge. But
absolutely,
I mean, that family has been around since like old money of like, you know, pre-Civil War money. Like
they're on the board of everything, you know. There's a Ravenel on every board.
Yeah, so it's like it's intrinsically like woven into the fabric of the culture. If you want to, and like I can remember being a kid, it was like they owned all the property, right? Like
your mic's going out.
Oh,
your mic's going out a little bit. There you go.
Did it come back?
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember being as a kid, it was woven into like the people that own the property. So say you wanted to do something new or interesting and artistic, you couldn't find a building to do it in because the people that would rent to you don't want to rent to something that's not, you know, doesn't conform to this Christian Southern sort of like ideal. So yeah.
I just want to add this, and I'm not trying to make you sound any less credible.
Yeah.
But would you say that you were on the receiving end of this? Because it seems like you grew up fairly well off. You went to private school.
Yeah. I was put in a position to be a conforming member of that society. Like I was given the opportunities to.
But you chose not to be. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but like.
But you know what you're talking about.
Right. Because I went to high school with these people. Right.
Like,
the high school I went to is the expensive Catholic high school that rich people would send their kids to, you know.
And the track in front of it's named after your dad.
Yeah. So I mean, I was within. But what's interesting about him was he was one of those people that didn't conform immediately and then like fought his way to find that association with those people and make friends with those people so that later in his life he could do business deals and, you know, call in those favors and stuff. So, but it exists, and it doesn't exist in places that are like more metropolitan because there's more of a like focus on raw capitalism and wanting to churn up like as much business as possible from all different types of people. Charleston people are happy to turn away business if it's not the kind of person they want to work with or the kind of you know, it's really
All right, so I'm gonna share something with you, and this is Mandy Matney's Facebook immediately after she was supposed to be deposed. And didn't show up. I don't want to say didn't show up. She showed up to the wrong place.
Right.
Making lemon pound cake out of lemons, a nod to Afro Man. So here's a picture of her and her husband eating lemon pound cake.
Yep.
There's her, and I'm not sure who she's with, at a restaurant. There's lemon pound cake and some lemon heads. It's her having what looks like a delicious
beverage.
Yeah, like a Bellini or something.
That does look like a Bellini.
And then there is it looks like a bathroom with RBG wallpaper, which is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
And looks like she's enjoying some oysters, and I'm so jealous because I love raw oysters. Look, and they're having a good time. And look, Mandy Matney, journalist. It does not say podcaster.
Right.
But she has a Cup of Justice podcast. Oh, she's having some caviar.
Where'd she get that caviar?
She's in Hilton Head. Anyway.
So this is the big criticism they have of her, is that instead of going to the deposition, she was enjoying herself, and that's not okay.
Well, my impression of this is, especially with, the nod to Afro Man,
right?
She has freedom of speech or freedom not to speak. I don't know what the message is, but it looks like a big fuck you.
Right. That's what I saw too.
It looks like a big fuck you. I'm not going.
Yeah. She wasn't saying that's what they're using to hold it against her. She's saying while she wasn't there, this is what she had to say, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's a rich Southern punk rock, the caviar.
Yeah.
Caviar is good.
Yeah.
Like
no, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't.
Do you think she should have went to her deposition?
Is she legally required to go to her deposition?
Yes, that's why she's been found in contempt and being fined all that money.
She should have went.
What do you think?
I
Brandon?
mean, I don't know. Fuck the police.
I don't disagree in principle, but you have to sometimes think about these things like, what is the consequence for me not doing this?
She didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, this is like they're, calling her a podcaster and making her come down like she's in trouble or something. And, I mean, I really don't think she did anything wrong. And I feel like, she's probably got herself in a position where she can say fuck you, get away with a little bit at least, and maybe have to deal with some harassment from some asshat with an Instagram account. But for the most part, like, she'll be okay, I hope. And she's sort of flexing those muscles, and I've seen plenty of men do it. So I think on her, more power to her.
It does strike me as I did this because I can kind of move.
Yeah, yeah. But that's okay. I mean, especially, like I said, I mean, we've seen plenty of men do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not criticizing her for that. Yeah.
So on April 7th and 8th, she testifies and is deposed. So Judge Kelly holds an evidentiary hearing and she goes and testifies. This is at a courthouse, somewhere that she says she feels safe.
Yeah.
So she is deposed.
Yeah. She's been deposed. Is she still being held in contempt?
Yeah, the contempt order is still a thing.
Then
still
I don't agree with. If she's been deposed, you did it. You got what you wanted. Get rid of the other thing.
So on April 8th, she completed an in-person videotaped deposition. But the contempt case, it's not about whether she ultimately refused to give testimony forever. It's that she did not testify when she was supposed to.
When she was told to, yeah. I mean, that's
Right.
the law sometimes. It's not so much about, is it the thing you did, but did you do these, did you try to hide it? Did you do these things in a certain order?
Yeah.
That's what's frustrating about it. But that's why I say ultimately I think she should have went instead of trying to pull this whole I don't have to go because I don't want to thing. Because the consequence of her not going is now this contempt charge. And she wouldn't have to worry about that if she would have just went.
Well, we were wondering if that was all it was. I mean, yeah, those Facebook posts were brazen, but the question was, did she have a legitimate reason to feel harassed and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Do you think she did?
I mean, I think she is very smart and had, I mean, I just feel like another person might have had that agreed with, I mean, I feel like she wasn't wrong to play that card, even if that's all she was doing. I don't necessarily think she was in danger, but I do think that she, I don't know. I mean, she's got to navigate this situation. I don't know all the ins and outs of it and the different people, and what the consequences might have been. But I think it was smart.
I don't think that she was flexing just to be a jerk.
No, I mean, I think yeah.
But that's what the contempt charge implies.
Yeah, I agree. That's what it implies.
So, can you say without like a shadow of a doubt that she wasn't flexing? Like, you can't. There's no way to tell. The excuses she's given for not going aren't a smoking gun that say, "Oh, there was a good reason she didn't go." So they can't tell.
I don't think she was flexing to be a jerk. I think the only thing I saw as flexing was those Facebook posts, which again, 100% approve. But
it's kind of punk rock, and the Afro Man. I don't see the connection of freedom of speech if she's refusing to speak, though.
Right.
And if the person who's harassing her has freedom of speech, why would she be freedom of speech?
Yeah.
It's a weird
harassing. So there are obviously pieces of the story and puzzle that I don't quite understand, but I read through this very carefully. I looked through a lot of posts that she made very carefully. I'll show you a couple more things that I found.
Also, I mean, she's not posting pictures of that other guy, and you know what I mean? Like, she's just posting pictures of herself having a good time. She's not harassing anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm browsing through some of these.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys this one. This is a Facebook post that she posted. I'll give you the date after I present it. So she shares somebody else's post on April 20th, and she says, "No one knows what it's like to be relentlessly stalked and harassed until you're in it. All I wanted was for Greg Parker's attorney to say, I understand your safety concerns and we want you to be safe, so let's do this deposition somewhere that you feel safe."
Right, but like you said, they don't have to do that. And the climate of South Carolina is such that if they don't have to do it, they're not going to do it. They don't care.
Okay. So that's all I have about the Mandy Matney situation. Do you guys have any final thoughts on it before we move on and Brandon takes a hike?
I really have had fun doing this.